Welcome back to 4i Garage. Today we are tackling a leaky 5-speed shifter. Apparently these rubber grommets and seals go out in them and transmission fluid sort of works its way out the top. So requires quite a bit of the interior to be removed and everything's done from the top. So let's get at it. These are the tools you're going to need. A variety of prying devices along with a Phillips head relatively short screwdriver, 3/8 inch ratchet with a 15mm socket, a 1/4 inch ratchet with an extension and a 12mm socket. A must-have is a 12mm ratcheting stubby wrench. You will probably need a homemade tool. These ends are ground back a little bit. And possibly a bottle opener. Now to start off, let's take a look at what I'm dealing with. And everything is wet and dirty. And that is an oil for sure. So, oh man, you can really see it on the mount. Try to get my light situated. There we go. So, I have no clue other than shifter is right about here and I can see that it's wet up here. So I'm assuming it's dripping and working its way down there. Everything forward is mostly dry. I don't know if that's coming up on the camera. I think forward is. So it's definitely coming from back here. And that's my educated guess that it's the shifter. And there's another problem up on the shifter that I'll show you here in a sec. To begin with, the other problem that I have with this that I discovered trail driving the 5-speed for the first time, the shifter arm that goes down to the actual linkage that just attaches to the linkage, this rod, from my research is pressed in. Like people take the shifter out and they're smashing it with a hammer to get it apart. Not in my case. I'm driving along, bunk, pops right out. And I don't think a little blue pill is going to fix that problem. And then, of course, if you're in a, harrowing situation, not that I ever really was in the mountains of Colorado, you're sort of like, oh, where the hell is it in there? Trying to put it back together. So, yeah, found it. And then you're doing that, popping it in. Okay, keep going. Yeah, so that's not a fun experience. So I got to figure out what's going on in there on top of that. It looks like to take the shifter handle off, you have to take this little button out, and it's pretty scarred up right here. And kind of what I'm watching online is you end up scarring this up no matter what, because it's just really in there. So that'll be step one. All right, I'm just gonna go in from the side that's already damaged. That's too big, flathead. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. See, it's got this lip that goes all the way around. And that just, I don't really know. It's already damaged there, so I don't feel too bad. All right, that nut's a 15 millimeter. Oh, it's a jam nut. Okay. All right. All right. And this should just pop off. Yes. Ooh. There it goes. All right, so what is going on here? I feel like maybe I'm missing something. I feel a little, I don't know if you can see that in the light. There's a little indent. 4 little indents. This makes me wonder if there was, at one point, a sleeve with me. Oh. Yeah, there's little like nipples in there that probably index to those little indents, and all but one of them appeared to be almost non-existent. So, that makes for a new problem. Yeah, see, this is a rubber isolator that goes all the way around, and then wonder if that pulls out. I don't know. We'll look into it. All right, this just pops off once you have your stereo head unit thingy out of the way. I'll just set that in the back. Might as well clean out these little pieces that I'm sure every XJ owner has blowing out. All right, on to the disassembly, which should be a bolt there. I think this just pops up, and the light for it just twists. I think it's like a twist lock style, maybe. No, maybe it's a pinch. Yeah, I see a little tab there. Twist and pinch. I don't. Maybe it's just I'm doing this one-handed. Hang on. Yeah. Yeah, it's just a pinch and pull out, and that disengages that. There's a screw there. There's a screw there. And there's 2 screws at the bottom of this guy. And I think that's it. I think it just shoehorns in after that. And it's a lot of like kind of getting stuff out of the way and getting around the e-brake just to kind of work itself out of there. I got all 4 of those out, and you can see it's ready to come out, but I need both hands to kind of fish it up and out of there. Maybe this has got to come all the way back. I forget, it's been a while since I took this guy out. All right, now that that's out of the way, I of course had to install this charging station with a hard line down to the inverter under the seat. So I can't just, without taking the seat out and doing all that, I have to just set it off to the side there. But it looks like we've just got a couple of screws here to pull this seal up. I'll just go right around this guy. She's dirty, that's for sure. Of course, it's got to sit way back. Can't get my noodle in there to see how wet it is. Oh, it's wet. I can see it now. Let's see if I can. You're looking right there. Yeah, right behind the shifter. It's good and damp, like freshly damp. So I bet the seal that is underneath this shifter, which did not come with the kit, is no bueno. All right, well, looks like there's 4 bolts, one on each corner. And hopefully they're not too terribly long, because these look a little tight to get to. So we'll undo those and pull this guy out. Okay, I just took a little wire brush and some compressed air and tried to clean it up as much as I can so that dirt, not too much dirt, falls down into the transmission when I go to take this off. And I found a little discovery, which I was wondering why I couldn't find a vent line like you do on your axles and transfer case for the transmission, and it's because it's built into the shifter. It's just one of these little cap style vents, and for only a millisecond did I think, oh, I should try to figure out how to make that into a vent line, because then I realized if I'm in water this deep, I'm in trouble. So, in fact, the Jeep might just float away at that level. So it should be fine. And any splashing effect would be very minimal. But when I get this shifter out, I'll make sure that's good and clear. All right, I could get 3 of the 4 out pretty easily, but this guy, these 2 back ones, I had to use a stubby wrench to get off. But this one ends up hitting there. It's loose, so I'm hoping it'll just come out with the shifter. Let's see. Maybe I can move it around or something. There it comes. There it goes. We're good. So I'll have to remember that when I'm going to put it back in. Ew, look how gooey that is. Holy crap. Let me flip this over. There is literally no gasket on the back of that. Okay, got it out and cleaned up. And there is a plate on the bottom here. So there's a gasket plate and another gasket. And I think I'm just going to use RTV instead of this paper gasket anyway. I think if I had the paper gasket, I'd just put some RTV on either side of that paper gasket. So since the manual transmission is not is not under any kind of fluid pressure, I'm not too worried about it. Okay, and then you pull this rubber grommet up. And the more I look at this, I've already kind of off camera taken a close look at this. I think somebody's already been in here. Between all these rubber seals look brand new. This rubber bushing looks brand new. And the fact that we were just missing a chunk of the paper gasket, I think it was taken apart, these bushings replaced, and stuck back together, and didn't realize that it was missing a piece of that paper gasket and has been leaking ever since. The other thing I found was I may not actually have a problem with the shifter arm after all. I think it's just not. I think it just never jammed it down hard enough. Like that is where it needs to ride. I think I just need to redo and give it the beans. I bet that fixes it. If not, I'm climbing back in here. All right. So to get this guy out, this little cup inside here, push in and turn to the left. It's a little tricky. Come on. There it goes. It's going. There it goes. Pops out, and there's a couple of pins that ride up in there. So that should get the whole thing out like that. And this looks good. We need to clean it. Actually, it looks like it's in great shape. Almost forgot I needed to mark. Really should mark which way this goes. We'll get in there and clean all that up. And then this piece is this guy down in here. Oh, and that needed to be replaced. Oh my Lord. Oh, yeah, that never got replaced. I don't know if there was one in here. Holy shit. I don't think there was one in here. Either that or it's just exploding. Oh my God. No, that's the rubber thing just exploding. I'm surprised this doesn't look more hammered. All right, got it all cleaned up. And I got the new end on. You just pop the old one off, put the new one on. This guy kind of goes in like so. There it goes. Just make sure it's pressed all the way down. It's going to be like a whole new shifter. The only thing I didn't do was this outer rubber seal. Like I said, pretty sure, I mean, this is the old one. This all looks brand new. Like somebody popped this apart, put a new one of these on, put a new one of those on, but never got in here to replace that bushing. And getting this tiny hole over this big square, I mean, that's what she said in there. But it's a pain in the butt. So I'm just not going to mess with it. Plus, this actually looks like a nicer unit than this one. This looks much cheaper rubber. All right. Now, I think we pack a bunch of grease in there, or put a good glob of two of grease in there at least. Snack break. Somebody in the comments tell me what language this is. Is it Korean? Or That's not sketchy. Doesn't say anywhere where it's made. Okay. Knife it is. Oh, look at that. It's like a Cheeto. There's something in the middle. Oh my God. Oh, it's a peanut. Shows you right here on the bag. There. Peanut. Peanut ball. Man, that is like a dessert. It's not a Cheeto. It's a hollow. That's kind of gross in there. I don't know if that's like honey. It just says sugar, maltose syrup. Oh, waxy cornstarch. Mmm. That's probably good for me. It's pretty good, man. I could eat this whole bag. It's really good. If you like peanuts, it's really good. It's really crunchy. I don't know if that's coming in on my phone. Well, that's probably gross. Hang on. Let me not do the smacking with my mouth. All right. I'm going to save the rest of these for later. Maybe. Let's go back at it. All right. We'll just... wants to come out the bottom. It's kind of... just make a nice mess in there. Maybe put a bit on this end. Yeah, all right. All right, line to line. Get this guy back in there. And then it should be push down and turn to the right. If I can find the pins. Oh, there we go. Right. Oh my gosh. Okay, I just lubed everything up, so of course it's going to be twice as hard to get it to turn. That's great. It's going to be impossible to turn. All right, let's try this again. I just have this in the vise. I'm not pinching anything. It's just using the bolts to keep it from turning any further. Get those lined up. Let's see if I can... oh, it started to. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it just doesn't want to move.
2 very boring minutes later.
Okay. Let's see if this works. Just getting messier and messier. Little theoretical homemade tool. I get that in there. Oh, there it goes. Got it. Homemade tool for the win. I basically took one of these tools for your angle grinder, and I just ground down the little nubs until they fit between the corners here. Just barely fit. I almost had to ground them all the way off, but that worked. Just slap this guy down, like that, like a glove. All right, now on to the install. Before we get to the install, I want to throw in one last tech tip that I saw after I had already completed this, but before I finished the editing. Low Buck Garage on YouTube. I don't know if you follow him or not, but he took a couple of pieces of sandpaper and stuck them to his thumbs, or just used it between his thumbs to get grip on that shifter to turn it. So, of course, it's already installed on mine, so I can't test it, but it seemed work for him. It seemed sound theory. So another way to try to uninstall and reinstall that. Okay, I just put a drop of blue Loctite down the holes, and just a thin gasket thickness of black RTV around the edge, and then we're going to have the plate and this little lip and out kick up for the vent goes down, but I think I'm going to put the black RTV on it first. Got it on the plate. See if I can fish it down in here. There we go. Get it nice and seated. That's looking good. Maybe slide it around a little bit to get that oozing out around the edges. All right, now for the shifter. Will this make taking it all back apart more difficult? Absolutely. Is the goal to never take it back apart again? Absolutely. So, all right. Shifter's ready to go in, and if we remember, I need to put one bolt in on that side because it just barely fits in there. I don't no clue if I can do this one-handed or not. It should just go down in there. Okay. I was thinking that didn't feel right. All right, so the little plastic cup, I guess it's easier to install if it's down in the transmission, that little thing that went on the ball at the end of it, because this just popped right in. All right, let me clean up real quick. All right, now we get the plate lined up game. Okay, got one started. There's two. And these guys. All right, I'm not gonna waste film on this. but it's a struggle. I don't know why. Maybe it's a combination of like, no, because this is a different opening than for an automatic. I mean, this opening here in the transmission tunnel. So that's not it. But this guy sits further back than it was probably an engineered joke. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, it's back in. It was a little messy, but we got it in. These are 12 millimeter, and these two in the back here, this 12 millimeter, blah, 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 blah. For these two in the back, this stubby ratcheting 12 millimeter from Gear Wrench, really any brand, doesn't matter, was the lifesaver. I don't think there's enough space between the body transmission tunnel and the top of this to get a ratchet in there. So if you're going to do this job and your transmission sits back like this, I'm assuming they all are, I would just go ahead and spend the $10 or whatever it is to get this wrench. It's worth it. We got that all put back together. I am going to let that black RTV sit up for a full 24 hours before I drive this thing. Just because, again, I don't want to get back in here. So since this is not my daily driver, I can easily do that. Putting everything all back together, and I'll be right back when that's done. All right. So we have determined the real reason I have performance issue with this shifter arm is not what I originally thought. It is because I could not send it all the way. And maybe a blue pill could fix that, and I'm probably going to regret introducing the devil to my interior, but I don't want it to stick again, or I want it to stick but not be seized forever. You know what I mean? I just can't get away from the innuendos, I guess. Hopefully this all being behind the shifter boot will save this from traversing into my interior. Yeah. So that's down. That's about as far as I thought I had gotten it. But it actually needs to go about a ½ inch further. Hopefully I only need the little hammer. Not budging. Yeah, I don't know if it's at the wrong angle. It's like how the hell do you guys put it in? Damn. Just one innuendo after another. Yeah, it's not even close. Okay, see if this does it. Try not to bust my interior. Oh, I think that did it. Ha ha. Okay, there's your trick. That's how you do it. Just a big enough wrench to sit down and then smash it right there. This little guy just holds the shifter boot up. So you just pop it back on. if yours even still has that. Awesome. Alright. One of the things I wanted to test was this. Yeah, still gonna hit it. It's better though. I cock it down. God, that's terrible. Come all the way up. Come all the way up and I don't hit it anymore. That's good. So one of the things I did off camera was just put this arm in a vise and put a pipe down it, just a big plumbing pipe, and just put a little bit about of a half an inch more of a bend in it because I was hitting my knuckles. And that's the mute button. Can't stop your jam, especially when you're jamming. Dad joke. That's going to wrap up another episode of 4 High Garage. It ships a lot nicer now. It's not a race car, so not going to short throw shift this thing. It's still a Jeep. But it's good to know that that oil leak is fixed and she's ready for the road. Please like and subscribe and all that YouTube stuff. Thanks for watching.